Hi, it's Mike. Welcome to the kitchen tonight. It's summertime, so we're going to keep on rolling through some barbecue stuff, and I had some other stuff I want to show you, but since I'm going to do barbecue tonight, I figured we might as well just let you go and watch it. I got 3 different recipes I use for pork sticks. It's St. Louis favorite, and the one I'm going to show you tonight is one that I recently came up with just by doing some homework. And again, I've got 3 different ones. I'll show them to you over the days as time goes by, but tonight we're going to do one where we simply sear these on both sides, kind of like we did the ribs. We get a good tasty rub on them before we do that. Once I get them seared, we're going to put them in some barbecue sauce and let them cook up on in a low kind of simmer in sauce for about 45 minutes. Then we'll take them back off just like we did the ribs and sear all that flavor in and sear that candy sauce on there. So again, just came back from Aldi. I picked up this. I'm going to open that up and mix it up. Super simple, dimple, so you can do this on any weeknight. I also got these cool honey gold potatoes. Aldi has a really good selection of decent potatoes at a very inexpensive price. So I like these a whole lot just because they're gold and they're easy. Usually you can figure 2 per person, and that's being generous. If I find a big one like that, I'll just eat 1. Anyway, there's 3 of us, so I'm gonna make 2, 4, 6 of them. I'm gonna take those and drop them in the water here. That's a really awesome pot that came from Betty. Appreciate it every time I use that. So you got the rub. I'm gonna go ahead and take my rub, put that on there generously. Rub, I like to put it on there and get it in really good, but it doesn't hurt to let that rub sit on there for a little while. You can see I'm pretty generous with it. Like when I do my wings, for example, which eventually we'll get to, I like to let that rub sit on there maybe an hour ahead and just kind of let it sit out at room temperature. Maybe sometimes I'll stick it back in the fridge, but be careful you don't leave it out too long. But you can't put rub on too early as far as I'm concerned. Again, as long as you don't let it get soggy and nasty. You want that rub to be nice and dry and crispy, kind of like you see there. And you can see it's super generous with it. So from here, I'll let the potatoes boil, and then I'm gonna take this out to the grill and toss it on. In the meantime, my lovely assistant and bride of 33 years tomorrow, Kim, will toss the salad for us. So stay tuned, we'll be right with you. There's the grill, it's been running for a little bit. I got up to about 400 degrees. I cleaned it really good in preparation for this. I'm gonna take those pork steaks and just toss them on there. I like to take that extra rib and the extra rub and make sure I don't waste any of that. So these are gonna cook. I'm gonna sear them on each side for about a song. Right now we're listening to the Third Eye Blind channel, so if you like that era of music, jump in and enjoy it. I'm gonna go ahead and wash this and get ready to take the stuff off when I'm all done. I also have sitting here waiting my Aldi barbecue sauce, my pan, which will go on here. It's a beer, which is not for drinking. I'm gonna go ahead and mix that in with this sauce to get it kind of a little watery when I put that in there, so it boils up really easily. I will, when I transfer that back off on my final run, just like the ribs, I'll put the sauce on there. Not a diluted sauce I'm going to use to boil it in, but a full-on sauce like this kind of thicky stuff. Then I'll get that crusty edge on when I'm done. So stay tuned. I'm going to wash this up. We'll be back after I sear both sides. Yeah, I want to share with you. I mentioned inside I've got 3 different recipes. This is kind of my quick recipe that's easy, gas grill. Don't need to fire up the green egg. Don't need to fire up the Weber. You can just hang out on any weeknight and do this. So again, I've got 3 different recipes. Tonight you're seeing the easiest one. It's a Friday and I don't really feel like spending the whole day barbecuing. So, as I mentioned 2 songs ago, I was going to go ahead and sear this on both sides. I finished one side, I finished the other. I did have a little bit of a flame up, and when I flipped these over, they looked absolutely perfect. If you do have that happen, one thing I do recommend to kind of cool things down, this right here. That will cool and slow down your meat from cooking anytime you have that issue on a barbecue. Another thing is, if you end up with like a bubble in your pork steak, that means your fire is way too hot. These like to be done, they're good to sear and then cook slow. They also like to be cooked slow, minus the sear. Again, a different recipe. But on this particular one, I got everything just how I like it. It's seared real good on both sides. I'm about 2 songs deep into this, 1 song for each side. I'm gonna go ahead and put that into the sauce. And again, the sauce, I think I got about $1 worth of sauce in there from Aldi. I didn't spend a ton of money. I did juice it down with some beer, and I will come back because what happens is the liquid starts to cook off, the sugar kind of takes over, and starts getting real thicky. You want this to kind of stay a little bit softy. So we're gonna go ahead and turn this bad boy up. I'm gonna leave it, I'm gonna do one of these numbers, only because I got rubber in here. If you have a straight up metal skillet, you can just go ahead and put it in there. But since I don't, I'm gonna do like that, keep the heat in, turn the heat up, and let this thing cook until it kind of simmers. It's gonna simmer for about 45 minutes. Like I said, that'll make it all really nice and soft. In the meantime, potatoes are boiling inside. Don't forget the potatoes. If you come back with a black pot and burned up potatoes, you'll be really unhappy. It's easy to do. So with that, I'm gonna let this simmer for about 45 minutes and we'll be back. Right now it's about 5:45. We'll be back in about 40 minutes or so, and I'll show you how to finish this off, and we'll sit down and have a really nice meal. So about every song I came up and kind of flipped this and flipped it and flipped it and flipped it. As you can see, there was one session that got away from me. I kind of described that bubble. It doesn't really have an impact on the flavor, just the presentation. So sorry about that. This one didn't get so bad, but back here it's a little hotter. So that one got a little bit done. So what we're gonna do, it's been sitting in the sauce here, kind of simmering like that. You can see not a big boil, not a huge deal. Just got it really, really simmering lightly. So I'm gonna go ahead and take these and toss them back on here. There you go. And I'm telling you, once you get the bubble on that pork steak, it's impossible to hide from your guests. So don't think you're gonna do that. Just let it go. You can't cut it out. You can't do anything. It doesn't impact the flavor. It just shows you cooked it a little bit too fast. So I'm gonna pull off the pan, and I'll take this sauce and throw it back in a bottle and reuse that for whatever I want to. It'll thicken up after it's done, but for now, I'm gonna take some fresh new barbecue sauce. Again, got this from Aldi for $1, I think. I'm gonna drop it on here, and while the soupy stuff is good on there, it won't give you the sear that you want. And you'll see when I flip this over. Boom! It starts cooking up pretty quick. So I like to get that on there, and we're gonna spend a few minutes with it, just kind of playing with it. One thing I don't really like about this recipe is it doesn't do the fatty part like I like. My dad used to make pork steaks, and I'll show you that recipe some other time. He did them on the Weber, kind of over an open grill. And he would just sit there and cook and flip and cook and flip and sauce and cook and flip. That's a method. I'll show you that in another video, but for now, this is kind of the quickie. I did this in the background. We were sitting around the pool hanging out. That one requires you to kind of pay attention to everything that you do, so I wanted the no-brainer tonight and thought I'd share it with you. So stay tuned. I'm going to continue to flip these and sauce them until they get a little bit more crispy edge on them. In the meantime, my lovely wife was in there making a salad that's all ready to go. Potatoes have finished boiling. They're to a perfect boil. And we'll be back in a few minutes when this is ready to take off the grill. I've seared this a couple of times, flipping it a little more frequently than one song. So at this point, you got to kind of sniff it out and feel it. Don't let it go too long, because on a good hot fire, I've got this set on high. I want to get that seared edge in, and you can see the seared edge. It's going to go a little quicker. So I'm using straight up sauce now. And with that being said, I'm going to give you a little tip here. I'm going to take the sauce, I'm going to close the lid here, let this finish out. We're almost done. But I'm going to take the sauce that I got left, and again, the paper plate trick. Here's my old bottle of sauce. I'm going to take the stuff that's a little more liquidy and toss it back in there, and I'll use that later. I mean, there's no reason you can't use that. It cooked that pork really good, so it absorbs some of that flavor, some of that nice fat that you'll enjoy later. But again, the trick is just to get that plate in there, shove it down in, create a funnel. We're going to try this again. Here we go. Create that funnel. All right, I'm going to ask my assistant to grab the brush and drop the rest of that in there, buddy. Brush that in all the way down. Welcome to the video, Ben. Appreciate you being here. Again, you'll waste a little bit, but there's really no reason for your there's really no reason not to use that leftover stuff for your liquidy sauce that you use for a bake or a cook like that. No reason you can't recapture that and reuse it. So with that being said, you can see that it's getting that hot flame again. We're gonna flip this one more time. Look at that nice crispy edge. If you don't like that, something's wrong with you. I'm gonna go ahead and turn that off. I'm gonna drop one more little hunk of sauce on there and get my brush and wipe it back on. Thank you, brush boy. Again, if you don't like that, move out of St. Louis or move to St. Louis if you do like it. I got nothing more to show you today. We're gonna go ahead and eat this, so enjoy. To show you, here's what it looks like. Super duper paper plates. We got one tray that we're working off of, one pot that we cooked out of, and one bowl that we made the salad out of. Thank you, Kim. And from there, there's really no dirty dishes. You can see everything else is in pretty good shape. So, quick, easy run in the background. We do this while we're sitting outside, enjoying some fun time together. And do it if you can. If you like it, let me know. If you don't, let me know. Thanks, bye.